Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. My name is Miguel de Vera, and we are the Group 1, and we are here to report about our topic, the advent of a national hero. But before we proceed to our topic, let us first know who Dr. Jose Rizal really is. Dr. Jose Rizal is a unique example of a man splendor who became the greatest hero of a nation. So, as we all know, Dr. Jose Rizal is the national hero of the Philippines. So also Dr. Jose Rizal was endowed by God, as they say, with versatile gifts. And he also truly ranked with the world's geniuses. Dr. Jose Rizal was within the rankings of the geniuses. He was not only a national hero, but he was also a physician or an ophthalmic surgeon, a poet, a dramatist, an essayist, a novelist, etc. So as we all know, Dr. Jose Rizal has many professions, as we all can see in the presentation. But above and beyond all this, Jose Rizal was also a hero and political martyr who consecrated his life for the redemption of his oppressed people. That's why he is known, or he is acclaimed as one of the national hero of the Philippines. Because not only he was a hero by his image, but he also sacrificed his life for the redemption of the oppressed people in the Philippines. So now we know a little background of who Dr. Rosa Rizal is. Let us learn more about the let us learn more about the history of who Dr. Rosa Rizal is before he became the national hero of the Philippines. So, Dr. Jose Rizal was born on Wednesday, June 19, 1861, in the town of Calamba, Laguna province in the Philippines. Dr. Jose Rizal was also baptized in the Catholic Church of his town on June 22. So, one of his godfather or ninong, as we all know, is Father Pedro Casanas. So, his name, Jose, was chosen by his mother, who was a devoted of the Christian Saint San Jose or Saint Joseph. Now we all know where Dr. Jose Rizal's name come from. So now we already know a little history about who Dr. Jose. Let us now know, or let us acknowledge who the parents of Dr. Jose Rizal is, because if not for them, Dr. Jose Rizal will not be born. So here is Rizal's parents. So Jose Rizal was the seventh of 11 children of Sir Francisco Mercado Rizal and Teodora Alonso Realonda. So, who is Francisco Mercado Rizal? Francisco Mercado Rizal was born in Binyan, Laguna on May 11, 1818. He also studied Latin and philosophy at the College of San Jose in Manila. In early manhood, following his parents' death, Francisco Mercado Rizal moved to Calamba and became a tenant farmer of the Dominican-owned hacienda. So, in his early days as in his manhood, he moved to Calamba to work there as a tenant farmer by in the hacienda owned by the Dominicans. So, Sir Francisco Mercado Rizal died in Manila on January 5, 1898 at the age of 80. So, in his student's memoir, Rizal affectionately calls him a model of fathers. Now, who is Teodora Alonso Realonda? So, Teodora Alonso Realonda, or the hero's mother, was born in Manila on November 8, 1826, and was educated at the College of Santa Rosa, a well-known college for girls in the city. Back on those days, girls who can study in a well-known college and exclusive for girls are the one who are privileged, or the one who can afford that kind of schooling. So, Teodora Alonso Realonda died in Manila on August 16, 1911 at the age of 85. Shortly before her death, the Philippine government offered her a life pension. So now we already know about the history of the parents of Dr. Jose Rizal. The next topic will be discussed by my partner, Miss Joyce Marie B. Flores.
The Rizal siblings. First is Saturnina Mercado. Saturnina Mercado is the eldest child of the Rizal and Alonso marriage. Her nickname was Neneng. She had five children by her husband, Manuel P. Hidalgo of Tinawan, Batangas. Next is Pasiano Mercado. Pasiano Mercado was the only brother and confidant of Jose Rizal. He was also the second child of the Rizal and Alonso marriage. Mm, Pasiano became the second father of Jose Rizal. It was also his idea to send Jose Rizal to Spain to study. And just like his father, Pasiano became a farmer. It was his idea to also join the Philippine Revolution and became the combat general because of his younger brother execution. And after the revolution, he went to Los Baños and retired as a farmer. And he lived there as a gentleman and died on April 13, 1930. He had two children by his mistress, Severina de Sena. Next is Narcisa Mercado. Narcisa Mercado was the third child of the Rizal and Alonso marriage. She married Antonio Lopez at Morong Rizal, a teacher and a musician. After that, after Narcisa Mercado is Olympia Mercado. Olympia Mercado is the fourth child of the Rizal and Alonso marriage. Ipia was her pet name. She married Silvestre Ubaldo, a telegraph operator from Manila, and Olympia Mercado died in 1887 from childbirth. After Olympia Mercado is Lucia Mercado. Lucia Mercado is the fifth child. She married Mariano Herbosa of Calamba. He was the nephew of Father Casañas. Herbosa died of cholera in 1899, and he was also denied a Christian burial because Dr. Hisaresal was his brother-in-law. Next is Maria Mercado. Maria Mercado is the sixth child of the Rizal and Alonso marriage. Her nickname was Piang. She was married to Daniel Faustino of Binyan, Laguna. Next is Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal is the second son and the seventh child of the Rizal and Alonso marriage. He is the greatest Filipino hero and a tremendous genius. His nickname was Pepe. During his exile in Dapitan, he lived together with Josephine Bracken, an Irish girl from Hong Kong. They had a son with her, but their baby son died a few hours after birth. Rizal named him Francisco after his father and buried him in Dapitan. Jose was executed by the Spaniards on December 30, 1896. Next is Concepcion Mercado. Concepcion Mercado is the eighth among the Rizal children. She died at the age of 3 due to an illness. Her pet name was Concha. As an older brother, Jose Rizal was 4 at that time in 1865. He grieved so bitterly. According to him, till then I had shed tears only for own faults, which my loving, prudent mother well knew to correct. Next is Josefa Mercado. Josefa Rizal Mercado is she had an epilepsy. She was the ninth child of the family. She died in 1945 at the age of 80. Due to her illness, she never got married and died as a spinster. The tenth child is Trinidad Mercado. Trinidad Mercado was the longest living family member. They gave her the pet name Chuning. Like her sister Josefa, she never got married and also died an old maid at the age of 83. Next, the youngest one is Soledad Mercado. Soledad Mercado was the youngest child of the Rizal and Mercado clan. Coleng was her pet name. She later got married to Pantaleon Quintero, a native from Calamba, Laguna. Next is the Rizal home. The Rizal home or the Rizal shrine in Calamba is a reproduction of original two-story Spanish colonial style houses in Calamba, Laguna, where Jose Rizal was born on June 19, 1861. We all know that Jose Rizal is regarded as one of the national heroes in the Philippines. Also, the House of Rizal, The Rizal family was one of the distinguished houses in Calamba, Laguna during the Spanish times. It was a two-story building, rectangular in shape, built of adobe stones and hardwoods, and also roofed with red tiles. Next is the Republic Act number 1425. It is an act to include the curricula of all public and private schools, colleges and universities, courses on the life, works and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novels No Le Me Tangere and Il Filibusterismo, authorizing the printing and distribution thereof and for other purposes. In section 1, it says courses on the life, works and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novel No Le Me Tangere and Il Filibusterismo, shall be included in the curricula of all schools, colleges and universities, public or private, provided that in the collegiate courses, the original or the unexpurgated editions of the Noli Me Tangere and Il Filibusterismo or their English translation shall be used as basic text. In section 2, it says that it shall be obligatory on all schools, colleges, and universities to keep in their libraries an adequate number of copies of the original and unexpurgated editions of Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, as well as of the Rizal's other works and biography. The said unexpurgated edition of Noli Me Tangere and Il Filibusterismo or their translations in English as well as other writings of Jose Rizal shall be included in the list of approved books or for required reading in all public or private schools, colleges, and universities. In section 3, the Board of the National Education shall cause the translation of Noli Me Tangere and Il Filibusterismo as well as the other writings of Jose Rizal into English, Tagalog, and the principal Philippine dialects. Cause them to be printed in cheap, popular editions and cause them to distributed free of charge to persons desiring to read them through the Purok organizations and barrio councils throughout the country. In Section 4, nothing in this act shall be construed as amendment or repealing Section 927 of Administrative Code, prohibiting in discussion of religious doctrines by public schools teachers and other person engaged in any public school. In Section 5, it says, the sum of 300,000 pesos is hereby authorized to appropriated out of any fund not otherwise appropriated in the National Treasury to carry out the purposes of this Act. In the Section 6, this Act shall take effect upon its approval. Why do you think the Republic Act 1425 is important and what is its purpose? The Rizal Law, enacted in 1956, seeks to accomplish the following goals: to rededicate the lives of the youth to the ideals of freedom and nationalism, for which our heroes lived and died. It also to pay tribute to our national hero for devoting his life and works in shaping the Filipino character.